From the great halls of their house, there are assembled three who hope to one day be the world's greatest driving heroes. Created from the cosmic legends of the universe comes our team captain, the Vision, Bill Fisher. Their soon-to-be Wonder Woman, Vicki Fisher. Our Captain Marvel and head flight trainee, Jennifer Skripchuk. And our Batman, the master of tools, gadgets, and all things mechanical, our mild-mannered soon-to-be billionaire, Alan Danvers. Their mission, to fight injustice, share what is right and wrong, to get you out of your house and come out racing with them, and serve all mankind. They are the Garage Heroes in Training Team.
Captain's Log Supplemental.
Miss Vicki.
Yes, sir.
You know what?
What?
I've been thinking about this Sentinel system.
Yeah. Tell me about the Sentinel system.
So what I was thinking was, we have the one car that's got the aim dash that's slowing us down. Because installing the aim dash is actually, it probably is easy, but it's quite hard the first time. And we haven't figured that out yet. The Sentinel system is really easy to set up. So what I was thinking was, why don't we put it in the Lemons car? And we'll worry about the aim data information separately. And we'll kind of break it down into a project. Because then we'd have the motorsports video system that we really, really want, and we'd be able to stream it. We just won't have the data inside, but we have the data outside, so we can combine them later. But I think that's a really good solution.
So what does this Sentinel system do?
Well, if it had the aim data, it would have all the data on the screen, and you could see all their telemetry and everything live. But we'd be able to not only record it for viewing after the race, but we could actually watch our car during the race.
Ooh, like on the monitor and everything?
On a monitor, if you were at home and I was at a track, or if you were at the track and I was at home, depends on who gets the little short straw, but we'd be able to watch each other.
It's something I've always wanted to do.
And you know what? If you're driving, you know what you can do on the Sentinel system?
What's that?
You can communicate to me with your hands, and I can't do a thing about it.
Even better.
So, if you need to give a wave or a Jersey wave, whatever you need, we could save it and see it on the screen. And then you can have up to 3 different cameras, and it'll have picture in picture. You'll have the basic main shot out the front window, and then 2 cameras where you put them wherever you want. One could be on the driver, or one could be on the rear view. It's kind of cool.
Then we can upload it onto YouTube.
We could bore millions of people on YouTube.
I love it.
All right. Very well. You know what the only downside I see about this?
What?
Your mom and my mom are going to be panic stricken the entire weekend watching this thing to see if everything's going well.
This is true.
We probably shouldn't tell them.
I like the idea of having a Sentinel.
Well, luckily we have maybe 2. Depends on how things go. We're going to try. All right. That sounds like a plan. That's the project. We got to get that ready for the next race.
Sounds great.
All right. Very well. Thank you, ma'am. I have a Jargon 101 question. If only Jeremy and or Ben were here for an episode of Dominating with Dawson, I'd be able to answer it.
I'm here. Let's do it. What about Jeremy?
I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while. He's
not here.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. He's been busy growing a beard and getting sick. That's about what he's been doing.
Hey, you gotta tell me. I know you're Santaing your butt off this Christmas, right? With that beard, come on, man. You were everywhere with your red coat.
I really wasn't because my 10-year-old plays basketball, and the whole team ended up with the flu. So, today's the first day that I've been up and about and feeling better. So, unfortunately, I wasn't able to.
I see you chugging a lot of water. I thought you looked kind of sweaty and tired for a minute there. So I can see the effects are really totally gone.
Yeah.
Well, that's rough, man. Better, but next year that beard will be longer and you'll have more gray into it. So you'll be even more of a credible Santa next year. So keep working on it. Buddy.
Oh no, Ben, it's fully gray. This is just for men, my friend. Just for men.
Oh, nice. Looking good.
And to the surprise of no one, Jennifer nor Vicki are here because we haven't even talked about what our subject is.
Oh yeah. I'm getting some gray up here. I'm getting some gray in here too. It's they call it extinguishing. It's very extinguishing.
No,
distinguishing.
Yeah, extinguishing is a whole different thing.
Oh, whatever. What could the difference even be? What's I heard you about some jargon.
I got jargon.
What have you?
It is a very fluid thing in most people's usage. And I would thought we, being the definitive podcast that deals with high performance driving and racing,
the distinguished gentleman.
That's right.
That we are.
Absolutely. Yes.
Could extinguish the discrepancies that sometimes arise by the use of this term. So I thought,
let's distinguish and not exacerbate. Let's go for it.
It is our duty and privilege to talk about and define once and for all, for everyone from Oxford and everyone with the last name of Webster's, what is meant by the term racecraft. And do you use yarn or thread?
Oh man,
I like to use thread.
Came in with a light introduction for a super heavyweight question though.
I wanted to butter you up. Some would say peanut butter you up. But anyway.
Oh man. What do you think, Jeremy?
Wow, punt it, Ben. Way to go.
Yeah,
I just do it. I don't think about it. I just do it. I don't know.
I mean, that is tough because racecraft is just it's a generally used term for all of the things that you do while driving a race car.
While driving or racing a race car?
Racing a race car. Because racecraft. It's kind of I don't know.
That's why you punted it to you, Jeremy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Ben's this is what he's going to do. He gave it to you, and then he's going to say, well, I don't know anything about it because, I just race in Alabama on the dirt tracks, and, I'm just a dumb Latin major and full-time dumb. How am I doing, Jeremy? That sound like anybody?
That's not just an easy topic. That's a heavyweight topic.
It's 4 words, man.
Well,
how hard can it be?
So I think it's a hard one to define, but I mean, I think once you sort of have a grasp of what comprises racecraft, whether you can do it or not, I think is a big help. But I mean, definitely a big part of it is just the execution of putting your car in the right place all the time, right? Like a big component would be, are you somebody who can put the car where it needs to be no matter what's going on?
Part of it, I think.
I think that's the big blocking and tackling part is, timing your brake and your throttle, placing your car where it needs to be to execute whatever you're trying to do, whether it's getting past safely or passing somebody safely. So I think when you break it down, you don't have to be, I don't think racecraft has a whole lot to do with being fast, but I think it has to do with being good around other cars.
It has to do with all of the things that you do while driving that race car on the racetrack.
I just think it's a mistake to assume that racecraft means dominating. Racecraft is being around everybody on track, coming or going up and down the field. So man, I don't think it's necessarily appropriate to hear the word racecraft and assign competence or being faster than everybody or anything like that. I mean, I think ultimately racecraft is successful cooperation on track with everybody. So I think part of the demystification of racecraft for me was just understanding that this is what we're all doing to get along safely out here because we've all got family to get home to, and we're not trying to be ultimate jerks to each other. So once I kind of expanded my thinking about racecraft to realize that we're not just talking about breaking at the 3, nailing the apex, but maybe breaking in a different spot where you're trying to get inside somebody and pass somebody. So you're compromising your speed a little bit, maybe to get this pass pulled off, but safely without surprising anybody. Some racecraft might involve trying to put my car car width off the apex because I'm trying to pass this car on the outside. The racecraft is a lot of things other than perfect execution, is what I'm saying. Does that make sense?
Yep.
What do you think, Bill?
I would even go so far as to say, like, all the things you learn in an HPDE to make you fast and make you go around in the perfect line with the perfect braking point and everything else has nothing to do with racecraft.
They're great.
I would completely agree with that as well.
It's a great resource to have, but it's not going to be, can't be your Bible on track. Which, I've said this before, but I mean, I've had teammates who were just really tied to all the stuff they learned in DEs, and it caused some trauma with sort of being obsessed with getting back online after a pass that wasn't fully executed or something like that. So you got to be prepared. Successful racecraft is being prepared to roll with the flow and, being ready to enter a turn offline or come out of a turn offline and still hope that you're faster than the person you're passing, or still hope that, you can get past safely with everybody, managing their own position well enough to not go off track or anything like that. So you're right. The DE stuff is a great reference, but it's not what you're going to be doing all the time in a race. And in fact, like when I love to go back and watch videos of me driving, just because who doesn't? But it's rare that I see a lap if I'm looking at an endurance race. As long as the field is pretty tight, or Lemon's field is full of people, it's rare to watch myself do everything like I would do in a DE lap. Usually, it's compromised by traffic or something like that, which I love.
Mm-hmm. So I just want to clarify for the listeners, just my job as host. When you say when you like to look back at what you're driving, who doesn't? Are you saying that everybody loves to look at your driving? I'm just trying to clarify.
I'm assuming everybody likes to go look at their own driving. But
I misunderstood. My bad.
If you go watch old BD drive, I'm proud of everything I've done that's out there. At least that you can see. At least everything that's public. I'm proud of everything that's out there.
Blake and Reed, we're going to need that. The blooper loop's going to have to come up now. We're going to have to put that puppy together.
Yeah, that's fine. Every time I make any comment on Facebook, Blake always pops up with that. Like he's got a GIF of me like going off at the bottom of the backstretch at Road Atlanta in his S10. Like, look how every time I say anything about driving, it's like, look at him. He just did this though.
All right, Jeremy, I'm almost done making fun of Ben, but not quite. But
I'm good. I'm here all day. I don't care.
So racecraft is not a fancy word of referring to your race car like a boat, right? Like a watercraft.
No. It's
like
about
Chris Craft.
Like Chris Craft. Yeah,
Chris Craft.
Chris's boat. Yeah.
Yeah. No, like Ben said, it's about how you drive on track with everyone else that's on there when you're racing. It's knowing, you want to be safe. You need to know, all the different nuances, all the different rules. Some series have rules of, if you are not past the door, you need to back out of that in entering into a corner because you do not have the line. There's all kinds of different things that go into, safely racing around a racetrack in unison.
Yep.
That is the racecraft. It's knowing what to do, when to do it, how to execute it safely, and not destroying, your car, putting someone else in danger. It's just everything about the whole race and driving in that race is in my opinion, the racecraft.
And I would add efficiently too, because the better you are, the less.
Right.
You don't make a attempt to pass in a spot where you either can't do it safely, or will immediately get repassed.
Right.
You understand that, and
that's poor. That's poor. And you'll hear it in a lot of series when you're watching races on TV. That was poor racecraft, and that's what they're talking about is a guy made a dive bomb pass that he knew he was never going to be able to hold, but it was already too late. So he just let the car roll through, didn't make the corner. The other car got by him again. And now he's got to play catch up again. And we've all done it.
The over under, right?
Right. We've all done it.
Yeah. I think that's a good point too. When you talk about the racecraft, not, is about getting in the flow. It's about joining the rhythm of what's near you. Like hopefully if you're on the going, not, if you're on the passing a bunch of people's side, you're rolling through traffic and you're making your way up through traffic. if you see a car that you're going to pass, you didn't just suddenly get there. Like, hopefully you've had a chance to at least watch them as you approach them for a few corners, and you're going to have a good idea about what am I doing better than this car is doing. As as you make your way up, you're making the assessment of, oh, I'm better than them on the straights, or I can handle, I'm doing way better on the braking. So it may be that what looks like an opportunity might present itself in traffic for this car. But, if they're doing something better than you, you might be trying to force the opportunity and put yourself in a bad spot, like you mentioned before. Like, so, I think another essential part of racecraft is knowing when to hold back a little bit, knowing that it's only been a lap and I've run right up on this car. I could take him here, but also this is the kink at CMP, and I don't want to be trying to pass somebody dead in the middle of the kink while we're both going 130. I could also wait till right after the kink where I'm definitely going to eat this dude's lunch on the brakes. So I'm just thinking of an example from my last race, but I mean, there are plenty of times where I pulled my punch knowing I had the pace to put my car past this person in this really fraught place where the cars are, both cars are going to be really bound up really fast. And, if anything went wrong, we were both going to have a big time high speed wreck. Or I could just not go through there in fifth gear. I could just stay in fourth gear and let off a little bit and get past it. And right after, there's a nice short shoot where you can get in there and pull all kinds of inside passes all the time. That's just an example for me. But I mean, like, what they say about a lot of the greatest jazz musicians are the notes they didn't play are as important as the notes that they did play. So sometimes you got to not play that note, hold it back, take the slight lose for a second. It's not even a loss. It's just a little bit of a wait. And I'm always preaching about how it's a race, not a wait, but sometimes it needs to be a wait. If you're trying to have good racecraft and not ball your car up, don't take every opportunity that's presented to you, especially if you're working your way up through a field and you're passing and catching everybody. You caught that car. You got plenty of time to get by. It's a little bit different if you're getting pressured from behind for position. You might have to kind of change your thinking, but that's rare, especially in the kind of endurance races we're talking about. It's rare that you're going to have, somebody in class right behind you trying to, burn your back door up. If that's the case, maybe you take a few more chances, but you still have to be safe because, whatever chance you were about to take it, that person right behind you, hopefully they've got a head on their shoulders and they're not going to try to force it either, So that's just that's one of the things I think about racecraft. It's so much more about joining the flow and trying to see what's coming. We always talk about reading the other car's body language. I think managing traffic is the biggest part of racecraft. It's just working through the flow. And I don't know. I pass the hell out of people. Like, I'm always just slipping through traffic, but I'm also, one of the things I'm thinking about is how can I get this done without affecting the other person in any way? Like, I don't want to change what they're going to have to do. I want to either get it done on the way in or the way out pretty fast. But to me, a successful passes, I've done it. I haven't lost much of my own pace, and I haven't had to change, make the other person adjust what they're doing very much. So I don't know. That's kind of the ultimate of racecraft to me.
Go ahead, Bill.
Oh no, I was going for you, Jeremy.
Oh, you put your finger up like you were talking.
That was
about
a J. He made a J. He was making a J.
J for Jeremy.
No, I mean, I had already said it. It's about all of those things that you do on the racetrack. Everybody working together in unison, driving together. It's just everything.
Yeah, I agree. And when you're really good at the car placement, and when you're really good at the throttle and brake timing, that's when your racecraft turns you into, being somebody you don't run up to the field. But ultimately, racecraft should be, I think, a big safety concern over everything else. Is just like getting through it all together. Jeremy said in unison. That's right. You're just trying to do this all in unison without a big disruption to the flow or anybody getting hurt.
Yep.
All right, I've got one more little bit to this one.
So, Bill, what's the correct answer?
Okay, no. I'm letting you guys go on without this. I'm not going to correct you on this one. The next time we do this one, I'll do this one. Okay. So, what is either your favorite or your strongest part of your racecraft?
You go, Jeremy.
Oh, favorite or strongest part?
Yeah. Pretend you're good at something.
Oh shit.
So
Jesus.
I would say my favorite part of racecraft is finding that other driver, like Ben said earlier, that has a head on their shoulders and that you can have an amazing battle with lap after lap after lap after lap, and do it in unison, do it in a way it's not disruptive to everybody else, and just be safe while doing it and having fun. That's probably my favorite part. I would say my strongest part of my racecraft is patience. Believe it or not, I have a lot of patience on track. I can see, 5-6 corners ahead what that car's doing. I know I'm going to come up on them, and I know I can take him here, but you know what? I'm going to back off a little bit because there's a group of cars that he's driving right into, and I'm going to back off. I'm going to wait. I'm going to give it one more turn. I'm going to give it 2 more turns. So I have a ton of patience in my racecraft.
That's important.
In endurance racing, for sure.
Especially in endurance racing.
It's essential.
What about the namesake of this little episode here, Mr. Dominating with Dawson?
And what's yours?
The thing about racecraft that I think I'm best at is I know what you're going to do, and I'm going to do it faster and better than you when it's time to go. But I come up on a gaggle of cars. I know what this guy's going to do. I know what this guy's going to do. I know what he's thinking. I know what he's wishing. I know what this guy wants for Christmas. Come on, I'm going by all of them. But knowing, I know what size shoe this guy's wife wears just from what he's doing in traffic. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, my thing I take the most pride in is I can read every car. I know what they're going to do, and I already have a plan by the time I get there because they're going to do the thing. I've seen them doing this thing, whether it's a something with their car handling, whatever, how they drive, what their car can do. I've been assembling all this information. I've been trying to put together a profile of this guy all the way till I catch him, and then I'm gone once I figure out what the weakness is. So the thing I give myself the most credit for is prescience. I know what's going to happen. I know what you're going to do. I got it down. I'm going to do it better. See you later.
Remember before we started, Jeremy, we were talking about what are we going to do with these 5 Sunday Cup cars?
Yep. That's what we're going to do.
Except for the front wheel drive part. I think Ben should definitely get one of these cars.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Ben needs to come out and play Follow the Leader with the Sunday Cup cars.
That's right.
Absolutely. I would love to do that. Those cars look so much fun. I shouldn't have said anything about front wheel drive cars because those cars look like a blast.
Well, we may be able to arrange something, Mr. Dawson, that we have spoken about and shall remain nameless, except on the Patreon.
Now, Bill,
non-existent Patreon. What? I was doing a really good job of avoiding answering this, sir.
Yes, you were. But nope. Now, what's your favorite part about racecraft, and what are you best at?
There we go.
About your racecraft, Bill.
Yeah, I know.
Yours, Bill.
So I think my favorite part is being able to pass people without the other person thinking I'm that guy.
That's
you know what I mean?
Okay. Yep.
Like I am not going to chop you across the bow or do anything of that. And I try to do it in such a way that's respectful and does not impact their lap.
And thus you should.
Because if you had to do that, it could wait, right?
Yeah, it can wait.
You're coming up to pass, and you had to do something that's going to, jam somebody up, to use some PA language for you. If you got to jam somebody up, it can wait because if you showed up at their back door, it's going to happen. And that ties into what Jeremy said about patience. You got to be patient and just join the flow. Don't be a huge asshole. If your car's faster, just figure it out and then wait, like you said.
Yeah. I think that the thing that I do is, and we joke around a lot on this podcast. We joke around as a team, and we joke around at the track. When we have a good time, and a lot of people think we don't care, but we do. Like when we're driving, we try to do the best we can, and we try to get better every single time.
Sure.
But I want my other drivers on the track to have a great time, and I want to get their absolute best from them. But in the end, even though we're competing technically, I still view it as, especially when you're amateur grassroots, we're all on one team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And listen, I've been passed by Jeremy more times than I can count, which is cool. But I think I've passed him once or twice. He might have been broken, but whatever. It doesn't matter. I still passed him. It counts. But I'm not going to do it in a way to put him or me or my car in trouble or in jeopardy because I hate doing body work. I'll fix a car because we broke it or I'll fix a car because it's, something went wrong, but I don't want elective surgery. I want to take it back the way it was. And life is good.
Also, you got kids.
Yeah.
Almost everybody's got kids out there or people that like them.
Yeah.
Just no point. There's no point in introducing personal danger to the scenario. If you can't get the pass done without risking somebody's personal safety, then it's definitely not the right time for that pass. And you should just hang back until you can figure it out like a big guy or a big girl.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't know if anybody realizes it, but if you try and muscle your way into a pass and you get past this other driver, they don't think you're really good, depending on how you did it. Sometimes they think,
"Oh no, you're probably number one."
Yes, but it's not in the number one that I'm aspiring to be, because I'm a frequent listener of dominating with Dawson.
That's right.
That's not my goal. And this is a team sport, and it's not just a team of 3 or 4 drivers that are running around on an endurance team. It's 100 plus teams, and
it's the whole group. Yeah,
exactly.
in unison. Got to do it in unison.
Yep.
But also, let's not be too generic about racecraft, because somebody that has really excellent racecraft is making production and probably leading the race that you're in.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have been shown that my racecraft is not up to standard, because there are certain cars that we race with, and when there's no traffic, I may be able to hang with them or even catch up to them. But when we catch up to traffic, I lose them and they go bye. And I'm like, but I just earned, and it may take me another hour, literally an hour, to catch up to them.
Yeah, that's such a fun feeling when you get to somebody that's sort of, or at least for me, when I get up to somebody who should be faster than me and I just skunk them on in traffic. I'm like, see you later, because this is a car that should legitimately be able to run better than me. But if I can get near some traffic, I'm like, got you for at least another 20 minutes so you get backed up to me.
I mean, that traffic management is, especially in endurance racing, is a huge part of racecraft, and that is an area where it can make or break your position. 100%. Traffic management is huge. It really is, and that's a big struggle for a lot of people, is traffic management.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's a whole huge other topic for another day. But traffic management sometimes comes down to hesitancy or timing or all these other things. But yeah, I'm sure that's a whole different can of worms to get into. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We
could have a whole
traffic
episode.
Management.
Yeah, Ben, we could do a whole episode of traffic management.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, luckily we have 72 pages of Dominating with Dawson questions to go over, and I just added traffic management as an episode.
Perfect.
And we can't skip Vicki, because she'll lose her mind if she doesn't get to talk about traffic management, because that's what she loves. So
that's cool. She loves a race start.
That's right. So as everybody could tell, Ben's AirPods are now dead, and it's time to end this Dominating with Dawson with Jeremy and half his AirPods. Thanks, everybody.
Sounds good.
Thanks, guys.